All right, what's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below. This video is entitled My Thoughts on the Can My Children Be Friends with White People article. I read the whole article, and I'm trying to figure out what people are tripping about. I saw the Tucker Carlson interview. The way I look at it is, we as people don't want to take history into account. Like, when I saw Tucker Carlson, like, that's racist. And in my mind, I was thinking to myself, that's how y'all raise y'all kids to hate us, though. So your children hate us because you taught it. As teenagers, y'all hate us because it's part of the culture. As adults, you hate us because we're quote unquote enemies. And, and I'm not talking like on an individual level, people can be friends. But as far as like the group, no, and our kids have to know that, as far as the group is concerned, we're not friends. Because like in the guy's article over and over again, historically, it's been proven that we're not cool. We're not friends. And to me, it just doesn't go for just white people. It goes for most non-black people. All non-black people, really. Because everybody is raised to have this type of animosity or opportunism or this energy of I can befriend you to use you and it's all good type of mentality. And we're not feeling that. We never were feeling that, The mentality is, you people welcome me into your households, but you have to stand outside by the door because my family doesn't like black people type thing. So that shows us that we're not friends. I think we as a people are late to the party. Like, no, nobody likes us. We have no friends, Like John Henry Clark said, we have no friends. Now, the irony is I was listening to that commentary of the article about opioids and how the doctor and the host were talking about one of the reasons why black people aren't affected by opioids like black people in general aren't affected by opioids is because doctors won't prescribe us medication because they have a subconscious and conscious bias towards our lives and our pain. So ironically, racism backfires to the point where you prescribe more drugs for white people and they use them and they overdose on them and they get addicted. Would you prescribe that to black people? No. And the way society is set up, we have a history of knowing this. Like, we have a history of knowing that our teachers may be racist. Our coach may be racist. Their kids may be racist. They may say things in order to demean, hurt, sabotage us or set us up for failure. And they may do things to sabotage us and set us up for failure. Even as children, even adults to children. And we've had numerous occasions of how we have to explain things to our kids, And you see these things happening over and over again. Like Tamir Rice. There was people just acted like that was just okay. And when I say people, I mean non-black people. Oh, well, he's playing with guns. And unfortunately, people seem to forget, like even when I was a kid, a kid got shot like that in the DMV, District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia. And that's when some of y'all forgot they turned from the cap guns had to have little orange tips, or they made the guns lime green because the cop just saw a kid playing with a gun and it was a black kid, so he had to kill him, right? So they started. So to combat that, they changed the colors of the guns to be like fluorescent, so they could be toys, right? But once again, like you should know the difference if you played with toy guns, and if which most kids did back then, and most parents and adults bought toy guns for kids, so they knew the difference. But people knew there was an opportunity to kill a black kid. So we've had to have these talks with our children even before I existed. So when we look back at those old clips of Muhammad Ali talking about are there good white people? Yeah, but you have to treat them like the group, because the group are not good to us. The group is very adversarial to us in every aspect of the word. You hear Malcolm X say the same thing, like these people are not our friends. Like, yes, there are good white people out there, but guess what? As a group, they'll kill you. They'll cover up killing you, and they'll say, oh, it's not that. And like the writer of the article was talking about, when it's one thing to be a person's friend when it's convenient. It's another thing to prove your friendship when it's inconvenient. And when your friendship is tested by the inconvenience of being a friend with somebody, people go ghost. When stuff really hit the fan, no one to be found. And that's why I said it goes for other communities, because you could say the Jewish community did the same thing opportunistically. We all on the same team, we get oppressed the same, but playing both sides of the fence. I'm Jewish. I'm oppressed by these quote unquote white people. I changed my name and I'm become a white person, but I'm Jewish behind closed doors with my Jewish friends. And then we screw the white people. Then we screw the black people. And then we act like we're victims of all of this. And that's a problem, right? We befriend people and then just stab them in the back. People don't want to admit that, but that's how history has played it out recently. You look at Israel. Look how that worked out, right? Same thing with the Hispanic community. Oh, we need to have a black and brown coalition, only to stab us in the back. We're brothers when it's cool, but when you need somebody on the front lines to fight for your cause, but after you get what you want, you're niggas and mayates and all that other shit, right? So that's the same thing. That's not a friend. Asians, most part Asians are just taught to dislike us. That's just part of their culture. Even though a bulk of their culture comes from black people, Africans, as far as the food culture, to the martial arts culture, to Buddhism, like whatever, But it is what it is. So are people friends? No. And I find it odd that people get upset that we're going to teach our children the reality. Because the reality is these other groups have never taught their children to judge people by the content of their character. They're black, no good. They're black, stay away. They're black, they're evil. They're black, they're criminals. It was never a good thing. They're black. You can use them. You can kill them. You can manipulate them. You can rape them. You can set them up. You can kill them. You can kill their kids. You can. It's okay. We all form together like Voltron and act like that's how it's supposed to be. Well, that's not a friend. That's an enemy. And there's not a day that racism doesn't exist in America. There has never been a day where racism didn't exist in America. So to basically live in realism, which I think we took too long to do anyways, and people be upset about that, I think that's hypocritical. Because mind you, when people want to make us the face of everything negative, and if as you see with the rise of technology and the information age, you see all these other groups' negative acts just piling up, piling up, piling up, astronomically piling up, and you can't sweep them under the rug and cover them up like you could back in the day when they had print media. You know, you can't cover up cultural appropriation this way because you see too much of it going on. You can't cover up the quote unquote melting pot of America when it's only melting when you can steal black culture for a profit. You can't cover up the employment game that goes on in America. You know, with the, if you see the name on the application, I'm not hiring, that name sounds too black. Can't do it. Forget their qualifications. You can't cover up America, and we have to teach our kids the truth, because a lot of us been acting all this, you know, kumbaya life where, oh, racism doesn't exist anymore and it's not like that and it wasn't as bad as it used to be. Depends on where you talking about or where you at or what situation you're in, because a lot of y'all know what it is. You know, a lot of us are protecting racism with this idea that it's all good when we know good and well that it's not. You know, you look at the response to the protest in the NFL. You know, oh, even selling pizzas black people's fault, or not selling pizzas black people's fault. Right. I thought, you know, black people ain't going to the games like that. You know, white people boycotted because but the stadiums are still full. Nobody ever speaks about that part. You know, everybody just supposed to, and I think people have in culture shock because we're repeatedly saying enough is enough on every level. And it bothers people who are non-black. It's like, we're going to even tell our children, y'all, we can't trust you. And historically, you know, that's in the books, that non-black people can't be trusted with our best interests. I don't care, conservative, liberal, Christian, atheist, straight, homosexual. It really doesn't matter. Like, you know, child, adult. We've seen this over and over and over again. Like, people's morals, ethics, and integrity change as soon as our race comes up. So, and people's interpretations of right and wrong changes the minute you interject a black person into the equation. So the hypocrisy is just as American as apple pie. So why not tell our kids the truth? Why, you know, and we've dealt with it as kids. Our parents dealt with it as kids. Our grandparents dealt with it as kids. Our great grandparents dealt. So we have generation after generation saying the same old thing. So to us, it's just a reality. People can't be trusted. You know, and people, you should trust me. No, I shouldn't. No, I shouldn't. Because next week you're gonna be on one. You're gonna do some bull. I know it. You know it. You know, like I said, is it different? Like individuals, of course, they're good individuals in every group. But as far as how the group acts towards our group, you don't see. It's an anomaly when you see non-black people stand up for black people in America when they know it's wrong. You know, you got to remember, the Asian community came together and protested the Akai Girly thing. Like, that was crazy. But okay, whatever. You know, same thing with the guy who was raping people, and there's another officer that just got in trouble for that. You know, all of these cover-ups keep happening over and over and over again. So, you know, we got to admit it. Like, hey, man, this is who you are. And I think one of the biggest problems with that, I think, for society of non-black people is that we're accepting who these people are. And they have a hard time looking us in the face when we accept them for who they are. And I'm not like that. You might not be like that to your own people, but you're like that to mine. So I don't trust you. And you haven't earned my trust. And I'm not going to give you my trust because you're a habitual line stepper. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion on it. I think the guy's right. We out.